Okay, so I want to take a look at a man named Nick Cavaleri. He was the CEO of Family Services of Rochester. Now, Family Services of Rochester were collecting money on behalf of residents who lived in subsidized housing. Their Social Security was going to the Family Services of Rochester, New York. So they were going to these people. These people were supposed to then, in turn, pay their rent. And they were not doing that. They were months behind, and to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars were not being paid and reported. Then all of these people suddenly got messages that you got to be out by Friday. And they get these messages around Monday, Tuesday. And we're talking out, as in you got to move. Now we're talking people who are disabled or elderly or whatever the case may be. Again, subsidized housing. Where are they going to go? Period. Where are they going to go? Friday, you got to be out. And when they go into these homes, they were interviewing a few people. It's a regular house. It's full of stuff. And here's this woman in a wheelchair. Like, where is she supposed to go? Not only does it take forever to just pack up stuff, but now you got to get the U-Haul or you got to get a truck and somebody got to help you move. You got to find a new place. You got to put down the deposit and like there's all of these things. Where do you have to go? Where can you go? And so the reporters went out, the news station, and they went out and basically talked to those who were in charge and said, hey dude, what's WTF? And what he basically said was the money is turned over to Family Services of Rochester, and then they take it and then they pay the rent because it's subsidized. So it has to go through all these little channels, right? And he said that we don't know either. I just work here basically. The guy who was the head of the building that they stayed in the program and all that, and the the go-between, the middleman, the Family Services of Rochester, by who's headed up by Nick Cavaleri, can't be reached for comment. You go to a website and it's basically a blank page and this, that, and the other. Um, the guy, though, did say that some of them, yes, still have to move, but it's a government program, and so they have a place for them to go. They just have to get out of this building, and then they're switched to a different unit in a different building, that type of thing. Now, there's a lot of also problems within the building too, which is also another reason why a lot of those people had to move, because government subsidy goes and inspects the product that you are paying for. And so if I'm paying for this apartment and it's full of mold and cracks and all this kind of stuff, we're not paying for it anymore. So you got to move. So some of the people had to move because of the conditions in which they were living in, the richest country on earth. Anyway, so Nick Cavaleri, though, they did a little deep diving into like the financials, and it said program service revenue $4,563,421 prior year. Current year $2,908,126. Where's all this money going, boy? Investment income $296 prior year. Investment income from this current year $24,529. Other revenue $4,000 prior year. Other revenue $64,000. Total revenue $3 million for this year. Grants zero. Benefits, mind you, this is the tax document I'm looking at. Other expenses, 2 million last year, 1 million this year. Total expenses, 4 million, 3 million. And so revenue less expense, 300,000 last year, this year, 170. Anyway, so Nick Cavaleri is the CEO. The firm's name is Stokes Visca something of Rochester. Name was cut off. But he's basically the person that they're looking to figure out where all this money's going. Because his investment firm, or whatever it is collecting these people's money. So, where did it go? And they can't reach him, mind you. They go to the web page and nothing. They call him, nothing, leaving messages. The five of, what is that? I hate when they change the names in tarot decks. I'm assuming that's a wand. No, it's not a wand, because that's a wand. Okay, well, what the hell is this? What is a laurel? There's a sword. Okay, that's a nothing. I don't know what that is. That's a laurel, that's a sword, that's a wand. It's got to be a pentacle then. Okay. Can you tell how many times I've used this? Sword, wand, cup. Call it a pentacle, for God's sakes. It's appropriate for that to fall out, but I just didn't know what the heck it was. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Five of Pentacles fell out. That's the card of poverty, lack, and loss, which is worsened by an institution. So there's our overall energy there. Nick Cavaleri. What's going on with the money, sir? Ten of Swords. The money is super gone. This is... How can you do that to people? Like, it just... I get baffled by corruption sometimes, because it's easy to be a nice person. I just... whatever. Where is this money? The Two of Cups. The Ten of Cups. The Five of Swords. Win at all cost. The Knight of Cups. Oh, this is so grimy, I swear. The Sun. Word of warning. The Eight of Wands. Justice. Word of solace. It's going to take a while, but we'll get there. Judgment. So, I think we may have an happy ending with this here one, but what I see is there is your lack, your loss, your poverty, those who are needing a little more help than others, and then there's the Ten of Swords. This is backstabbing, not betrayal. Betrayal does not come from your enemies. This is backstabbing, as in these are people who are not on your side and do you in anyway. And so he was not necessarily their ally, because they have no idea who this person is. But he also had no intention on being either, which is what this would say to me instead of a Three of Swords. If it was a Three of Swords, then he smiles in your face. If it's a Ten of Swords, he smiles in your face while trying to take your place. And so he's taking something from them here with this Five of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. If I were doing some investigation into this person, into the goings on, I would look at those around him first. I mean, you can look at him too, same time. You know, people are great with multitasking. But I would also look at these people because there's a lot of information that would zero in on him. Because it's not like he took it and just went and bought a basketball court for his house or something. This is the Five of Swords, again, win at all cost. Dishonor, dishonorable behavior, dishonorable practices. If you get this card for yourself when you're reading, then this card is warning you that be careful of the way you move because some people may see it as heavy-handed or dishonorable. The Two of Cups is the card of deals. Deals and cooperations and bonds and that type of thing. This card has the caduceus on it in the Rider Waite. The caduceus is the staff of Hermes. Hermes is the god of communication, Mercury. The god of communication, the god of messaging. He's the messenger god. He is also the god of outlaws and thieves. And when you pair that with the Five of Swords, the win at all cost, and the dishonorable behavior, we now have a situation where the money was taken and a lot of things were ended and then a lot of deals were made. This is why I would then take a look at the people around Nick to see what Nick was doing at night. Then you have the Ten of Cups and the Knight of Cups. The Ten of Cups is community, harmony. The Knight of Cups is attraction, is flirting, is that type of thing, but I call it the false knight because it's image first. Knights in my book do things. They go places. They accomplish things. This one just talks. It just looks pretty. Now, if you're trying to sell something to somebody, this is the person you hire. He can sell the cup of water to the drowning man, as I say. And so here you have a front, if you ask me. The Ten of Cups, the image of the pretty happy family. And then the Knight of Cups, the image of everything is great. Everything is grand. Front. There is some sort of front in order to accept money for these type of deals. Allegedly. The Sun, which is in the word of warning, which means exposure. So this is going to come out. Right across from the Sun is that outlaws and thieves and deals that you're making. And so this is going to come out some way, somehow. Mind you, this is in, let me see, because for those who live in New York, you may be familiar or you may know or care. This is News 10 NBC. They have been following the crap out of the story for the past however many days. And so News 10 NBC has been following this story. And I think there's going to be a lot more stuff to come out. There's the Eight of Wands, so you will see some messages. Those messages will be a front. Again, Knight of Cups is not a bad card. I just caution people to Google, question, ask some questions. Questions are not bad because if what you're saying is legitimate, it will stand up to the test of questioning. If it is garbage, it will not. So the Knight of Cups will tell you something very pretty, very attractive. Here's this great offer, here's this great opportunity, this, that, and the other. And the moment you start questioning, it pulls at the threads. If it is sturdy, it will stand up, and then all your questions will be answered, and then you will have more of a secure standing on what it is that they're trying to offer. If it's garbage, it will fall to pieces right before your very eyes. Well, they'll tell you to lean not to your own understanding and follow just what I say. Word of solace, justice. There will be some sort of court case. There will be some sort of law involved here. This is also the card of fairness and truth. It's coming out. The judgment announcements are also coming forth. This is affecting a lot more people than just those there in Rochester, apparently. Because again, there's a community of people involved in this. Who else are they doing this to? Well, we're going to find out. There will be some awakening with the judgment card as well. This is where people become more informed. Truth, information. Judgment is a card where the souls have been awakened and informed about their new path in life or their new opportunity or whatever the case may be. Okay. So I want to know, changes are coming, death on the bottom. What is Nick feeling right now? Like, how is he dealing with all of this? Him being the primary suspect and whatnot. There's the Fool, the Knight of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. How is he feeling about this right now? Well, there it is again. Knight of Swords. This is a reaction. This is not a person of action necessarily. Can be, because this can be the hero. In a nicer reading, this would be your hero, the person who comes in to save the day, which has actually been the reporters. Because everybody was walking blind and they had no answers. Then the reporters came in, God bless the reporters, and started digging up answers. And the people who were living there now had information. Before, they just had, you got to move by Friday. Now, at least, even if you still got to move by Friday, at least you know why. At least you know what's going on, so forth and so forth. But that's a reaction, yeah. The Fool and the Ace. I shuffled and put them back in. They did not separate. So the Fool is the beginning journey. This is also a very dangerous combination at times, these two. Because they're impulsive. And I think this is possibly also too why a lot of the information may start to come out. Because he is panicking. You weren't built for this life, boo. That's what that means. So you have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords, again, is a reaction. That's why it carries chaotic energy, because it's like, oh my crap, oh my, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. So it's a bunch of that kind of thing, to where you don't really have a plan A, B, and C. You gotta, oh my God, I have to do this. This is the OMG card, if you will. And so then there's the Fool. The Fool is like, let's just see what happens. Let's leap off the cliff. I'm sure it's not that bad. So when you have two impulsive, spontaneous type cards, and you have the law basically on your neck and reporters asking you a bunch of questions, you make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, you then start a domino effect of all the people around you that are also going to be affected, because you said one thing in an interview that you shouldn't have said, or you did one thing that you shouldn't have done, or you start deleting files, and then people are like, why are you deleting your files all of a sudden? And so there's a bunch of little bitty things like that. And then the Ace of Pentacles being your opportunity for growth and stability in a normal case. But this is also one of those situations where I think the opportunity will be open for someone to move in and find a bunch of information. But for him, it may even be a plane ticket. Try to get out of Dodge, but there's a panic here, and then there's money involved. The Ace of Pentacles is money. I always teach people in my tarot classes, when you see pentacles, do not default to money, because there's 14 of them, and they don't all mean cash. So here you have one, though, that means actual money. And so I think he's about to start making some mistakes when it comes to his money, and a pattern. Well, not starting making mistakes, starting making more mistakes, I should say. Or bigger or more obvious ones. Boy, the Knight of Cups, boy. Beware of the silver tongue, for it might just be silver plated. But we shall see.